Jumping in once again to the Blue Goku event. This is, of course, we're still kind of memeing on the fact that Truth called this the new hardest fight in the game. I definitely don't think it is. I think, funnily enough, the jokes that people were making in the comments when I did the last video talking about this is people saying that, like, he thinks it's the hardest event in the game because he makes all of his units full dodge, and you can't dodge in this stage, which is funny. But yeah, so I figured one of the things we could do here for today is this run is twofold, I guess, because we want to show off Glorio again a bit more with his leads, because this Goku can be attack lowered. So we're going to make this AGL Goku a Glorio victim. But also I want to do a bit of a comparison. Now I guess it's a little bit unfair because Cell only gets the 170 lead and in Buhan gets the 200%, but I did my tier list yesterday for easy ATURs, and Minato did one as well, and we talked about it. We went back and forth a little bit on Twitter about the placements, because he has Tech Cell at 1 and then Buhan a bit lower down, and I have Buhan at 1 and Tech Cell at 2, because they are very, very similar. Like, if you look at their passives side by side, they are very, very similar. But, I mean, he made some good points, right? Like, a lot of the new toughest events, even if we don't consider this one to be the hardest event, a lot of the endgame events that came out are superclass enemies, which is the main thing for Cell. Like, if Cell isn't fighting a superclass enemy, he loses one of his sort of big things with the extra damage reduction, which does kind of allow him to slot 1. But, like, there's a couple of things for me. Like, Buhan, in general, I've seen in my experience, hits harder. And then it really can't be discounted how great it is, the fact that Buhan gets a guaranteed additional super, whereas Cell only has a chance to do an additional super. And so, of course, when you're getting a guaranteed additional super, not only are you getting that extra damage, like, guaranteed, but you're getting another chance to proc your hidden potential, right? Because it will roll for it twice. Whereas if Cell only gets the 1 attack, he then only has the 1 chance to get his hidden potential additional as well. So, but yeah, STR Kid Boo's really good for this stage as well, because for his first, like, 2 appearances, he guaranteed nullifies unarmed super attacks. So he will just guarantee not take any damage from this Goku super. I was going to say, if he could do both the supers in slot 1, that'd be great. And then, yeah, obviously the Kid Buu builds up by attacking. Why Eternal has a gun. Yeah, it's one of those things. It'll be interesting to see what categories and stuff Goma is on when he actually comes to Dokkan. But yeah, both the supers are on Kid Buu, so he takes 0 damage. 37 million for Buhan. And then 34. But yeah, the fact that Goku can be attack lowered is kind of crazy. I mean, him disabling dodge is annoying, but I guess this does kind of... it helps to make up for it a little bit. But yeah, you got to think, we got Glorio on the team that lowers attack. Buhan lowers attack. Yeah, Glorio building up here. My Glorio is 2 dupes. The friend one is Rainbow. It's funny to consider, like, he's got an additional normal, like, thrown in the middle, and still is up to, like, 21 mil on his first turn. Bro is still crazy. When you consider that he does all of this, he's still going, 34 million. He does all of this whilst also providing this ridiculous amount of support to the team as, like, a 3rd slot floating character. Like, he's just absolutely ridiculous. I need to fix up my rotations a little bit as well, because we've got, like... I guess I can't have the 2 Buhans together, because Demigra needs a demonic power character with him on the rotation, so... do that. Do that. And then we can do that. 8 orbs for you. What's the meter we're taking from this? Double digit damage, let's go. Yeah, Demigra needs the Demonic Power ally on rotation. Demonic Power or a crossover, so we can't just leave him with Cell. But yeah, it's funny the fact that like Kid Buu can kind of slot one. I mean, Kid Buu can slot one basically guaranteed for like the first 2 appearances, because we know if he gets supered, he's just going to negate it regardless. The problem is the turns after that, where obviously he still has a 70% chance to negate the super, but the problem is, of course, if he then doesn't negate the super, then we would die. So... And of course he's going to get his 6th hit on this turn as well, which means he is going to lose some of his defensive capability. But what we'll do is we'll save the Glorio active skills, because obviously we'll be able to use them, probably just use both of them on the Kid Buu turns, so that that's one attack removed from slot 1, which takes away the potential of a slot 1 super that could come his way, right? But yeah, Kid Buu's still building up. Like I say, still on this turn, getting the guaranteed negation if he gets super attacked. Crit for 0. Always hate to see that. Go on, Super Goku again. Kid Buu again. That's what we like to see. Taking full advantage of the guaranteed super nullification there by him being supered twice, both times. And then Buuhan. The fact that Buuhan lowers attack on his supers as well. That's the thing, the attack lowering doesn't affect Goku's super like damage that much, because not only does his super do a lot of damage anyway, but he also raises attack by 80% like when he supers. So even if you have attack lowered him a decent amount, he then gets an 80% buff like when he does his super. But yeah, he really is being attack lowered like into the ground. Which is good for everyone on the team when it comes to normals. Like, he'll just be tanking normals all day long. I guess you can just grab those. In fact, you don't passively lower attack, do you? Alright, so just grab those. Physical orbs for Glorio. So, I mean, this isn't Demigra's like best setup or anything, but obviously still pretty good here. So I think the Janembas are not super useful in this stage. Like, in Janemba can't dodge, so obviously he can be a liability when it comes to like a super or something. And then physical Janemba, even in slot 1, like, he can't negate the super because it's not a key blast, and he can't dodge it, which he does have that extra built-in chance to dodge a super. So in slot 1 he actually can take some solid damage from this Goku super when he's fully built up. So we had to find replacements for the Janembas on the team, which is why we're running Demigra and Tech Buuhan. Obviously, I know not everyone's going to have Tech Buuhan, as he's a very recent unit that came out at the end of last year. I only got the 1 copy of him, right, so mine's only 55%. Yeah, Meki Kabura, that is true as well. We could have thrown him on the team to run him with Demigra. I could have brought him instead of Buuhan, to be fair. Because, yeah, in slot 2, post-super with Big Bad Bosses, his defense is pretty good if he's got the Rainbow Orbs for the damage reduction. And he also lowers attack, so... And obviously, yeah, him and Demigra together share, like, almost every single link. That works out quite well. The thing is with Glorio as well, like, he can't dodge in this event, but his super attacks do so much damage that he should be fine regardless. Oh, that's way too many Rainbow Orbs. What are we doing? And we just hope for the let's not get supered in slot 3 kind of thing for Kid Buu. I mean, he can still has the 70% chance to negate it, but... There you go, Texel taking 120 damage. But yeah, Texel definitely has the better tanking potential in Buuhan. But there you see 17 million attack. Then he didn't get the guaranteed additional, he just did an additional normal. So that did 0 damage. And then Buuhan does literally over double the attack stat. I mean, that's the thing. I don't think people who are saying that, like, if you think Texel is better than Buuhan, I don't think anyone is saying one of the reasons he's better is because he does better damage, right? Because he very obviously doesn't. But, I mean, having that defensive capability for slot 1 in certain events is obviously a huge bonus. It's why people are disappointed with, like, Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, Super Easy A, or Daima Vegeta, because these difficult events require units that can go in slot 1. But yeah, chances are we won't see any Heroes banners again, other than obviously when the future units get their Easy A's. We should still get an Easy A banner, because I don't think, have they ever done a thing where like a unit gets an Easy A, but there's literally no way to get them at all? Because that's why they do those standalone like Extreme Z banners, right? Alright, we can get the Buuhan domain. Start getting some build up for this guy. Can we actually get a good orb change? The answer is no. Good times. Because how many orbs does he need to get all of his attacks? 6. Okay, good. What does his domain do again? Buffs power absorption or transformation boost. Okay. So not exactly the craziest on this turn. Yeah, all this attack lowering, can Goku even do anything at this point? Well, this is what I was saying about the supers give him the attack raise. Like, super attacks will still do a solid amount of damage. Like, if he super attacks STR Kid Buu and Kid Buu doesn't negate it, it's still fairly decent damage, and the type disadvantage, like, it would still do some solid damage. I'm not entirely sure, like, exactly what the calculations are for attack lowering when it comes to super attacks, but I've definitely seen it before in previous events. You know, like when that STR Blue Vegito stage came out for the Worldwide in 2022? No, 3. Like, you could spend the whole event attack lowering him for like 5 turns, and then the wrong unit gets supered on turn 6 and you still take loads of damage. So I'm not exactly sure how the proper calculation works for attack lowering when it comes to super attacks, but yeah, even if you've been attack lowering non-stop, like, it's been 7 turns we've hit him with so much attack lowering, but I think there is still potential on, like, if the wrong unit takes a super. But obviously we're doing pretty well here so far. And yeah, the next Super Buu turn, we're going to have STR Kid Buu to go in slot 3 as well, to give him the extra links. But yeah, in terms of normal attacks, like, Goku can't do anything, like, can't do any damage to anyone on the team. Like, his normal attacks just don't do any damage now. Glorio at 25. The only problem with ending up with got a rotation where we're running Cell and Buuhan together is the fact that, like, all the orbs will get taken up. So I need to make sure you get the rainbows for the damage reduction. That's the thing. Buuhan will still out-damage Texel even with not picking up as many orbs. And the fun thing is with Cell being in slot 1 is, even if we didn't get as many rainbow orbs and he took like a little bit of damage from a slot 1 super, he then heals when he super attacks. So But yeah, him getting the... It's always funny seeing like additional normals that crit and then do 0 damage against these bosses that have the like the damage threshold. But yeah, Buhan after supering should be fine, yeah. But yeah, this is what I mean about like there are certainly mechanics about the Goku fight that make it tough, but like I don't feel like you can call this the hardest event in the game. Like, I mean, I guess like this team does have some of the better units like in the game on it, like some of the better TURs especially. But like, I don't know, man. Like, the fact that he disables dodge is super annoying, and he can super twice. He doesn't super in a specific slot like the blue Vegeta does. So I think this fight is harder than the Vegeta fight, but I wouldn't say the Vegeta fight was that hard either. So you guys will have to let me know what you think, but I definitely would not call this the hardest fight in the game. Alright, so we're going to get our Dokkan attack here with Demon King Demigra.
Time to get serious.
I suppose it's one of those things you also have to think about is like, is the missions make it harder, right? Because if an event has missions that are really wonky categories, then obviously that can be really difficult. But I feel like when we say like this event is the hardest event in the game, we should be thinking about like for any like if you can bring any team, because otherwise we could just say like, you know, things like DB Saga Extreme Super Battle Road is the hardest stage in the game because DB Saga is not very good. Because yeah, like some of the missions for this stage could definitely be tough, especially if those teams don't have a lot of attack lowerers or very good slot 1 tanks. But when you're coming into the event with like any team you want, yeah, it's hard for certain teams for sure. Like some of the missions could be really tricky. But it's not like we don't have a lot of units that lower attack. Even on like some of the better teams, like if you're running the Tech Vegeta lead or AGL Gogeta from the 10th anniversary, STR Gogeta is really good. It would be interesting to see how well Tech Gohan would do in this event, because the event's quite long, so he would get a lot of time to stack. Well, there you go. So we didn't negate it, so how much is Kid Buu going to take? Oh, double-digit damage. Well, there you go. So yeah, we really have attack lowered him to the point where he can't do anything. I was going to say, because that's the only potential liability we had for this whole run was if STR Kid Buu took a super and didn't negate it, but that just happened and we took double-digit damage, so... So yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. We are literally at the point now where Goku just cannot do anything. Here on turn 10. The only thing is this team doesn't have like the kind of like the anniversary teams do and stuff, where it doesn't have the like explosive damage output at the end to kind of carry you to the finish line. Like the fact that we're on turn 10 and we've done half of his HP. Well, just over. There you go, Cell actually getting the additional super. Let's go. Hey, Cell got the triple super turn. It's like 323 million supers. Healed us back to full. Takes double-digit damage. And yeah, Buhan just continuing on. Like the Cell Buhan combo, so much damage in that turn, like almost a full bar, which doesn't seem like much when you think about like the pre-anniversary events. But with some of these anniversary bosses now, the ridiculous amount of HP that they have, even doing a full bar of health in like one turn is pretty good damage. Hey, Glorio actually doing damage without critting. Let's go. At least this Buhan will be hitting a bit harder now. With the post Super Buu transformation buffs. I suppose you might as well start using these as well, just to actually do a little bit of extra damage. Not that it really does all that much. But yeah, Glorio team is super good. And that's the thing, remember that, like, Glorio actually has a busted leader skill, because he has accelerated battle. Right? He has demonic power for 200%, but he has accelerated battle as a 170, which has characters like the 10-year fusions on it. So, like, you can run all sorts of different builds of his team with some really crazy, like, really good, powerful characters. And then he just does the same thing for any of those team setups, where he just floats in slot 3, gives a crazy amount of support. The attack lowering, obviously, if the boss can be attack lowered, is useful. As long as the boss doesn't disable dodge, he has an 80% chance to dodge after he attacks. And then in an event like this, which is quite long, all those additional supers are giving him, like, permanent stacks as well. So... I should check what one of the Glorio's actual start of turn defense is now. I'm sad I can't awaken my Timer Goku. Yeah, hopefully with the data download tomorrow they should sort that, because they did mention it in the news, didn't they? The fact that it was gone. Kind of awkward for people who, like, summoned on the banner or decided to use coins, right? And it's like you get Glorio or Timer Goku for the first time and then you can't awaken them. I was pretty lucky actually, because I hadn't got the medals for Goku. Because obviously they used the medals from the same event. So when I pulled Glorio back when they came out, I farmed the 77 medals, awakened Glorio, and then didn't farm the other 77. And I pulled Daima Goku, like my first Daima Goku, in the same multi that I got my Daima Vegeta. And so I farmed the medals for him, like, later that same day, after I did the 55% showcase with Vegeta, like, on the stream and everything. And then, yeah, I farmed the medals for the Daima Goku later in the same day. Which is good, because then it was like a day later or something, right? The event then disappeared. Finally beat stage 8 of Formidable Foes by the skin of my teeth with Great 8 power, only to find out that's not the last stage. Yep, and we got more stages incoming as well. It's going to be super good. I wonder how many it will be. I wonder if and what, like, rewards and stuff it will be. Be interesting to see. Awakened Glorio with the 3 medals we got. Didn't have the foresight to grab the extra medals. Yeah, it's one of those things I've said before, like, I think it's a good idea if you've got nothing else to do on the game and you have the stamina to spare. If you don't get a new unit, you should farm the medals for them anyway, because at some point in the future you'll either pull them off a random banner, obviously, or if they're a unit you really want, like, get them with coins or something. But, like, yeah, even if they're not a unit you desperately want and you're not going to get them with coins, you'll pull them off of a random banner at some point, and then at least that way you can just awaken them straight away. Whereas obviously if you don't, it's like you pull a Dokkan Fest off of a different banner and then it's like, oh, now I have to go farm another, like, 77 medals to awaken this guy. So... At least the data downloads and the news things are a bit later in the day for me now, because they normally go by PST. So instead of, like, the producer letter being at 3 AM, it's only at 4 AM. Where's Glorio's defense? 1 million. Which, funnily enough, that might not seem like a crazy amount, considering how many turns it's been, but he also gets a ridiculous amount of extra by attacking and with each super attack that he does. So once he's finished super attacking on this turn, he would probably be well over 3 or 4 million defense. So even though he can't dodge, that doesn't matter at this point. I mean, we already know that, like, nothing Goku really does at this point actually matters. But you can see, even though we're still attack lowering constantly every turn, he's still able to do around 80k to Migra. And I mean, Demigra's not the greatest slot 1 tank, especially after attacking. So that shows you that, like, we still can't attack lower him, like, all the way down to 0, so that every single unit is just taking double-digit damage, even from supers. But he is obviously lowered to the point now where he can't really do anything substantial. Like, a unit taking 80k from a super is nothing, especially when you consider how much healing we can do. Yeah, Tech Buhan's one of those, like, Dokkan Fest. He has the potential to be really crazy, but I think during this run you can kind of see, like, at 55%, he's not really that crazy. Like, he's still good. He's still solid, obviously, but at 55%, he's definitely nothing too wild. I mean, Scout of Vegeta returned on the Daima Vegeta banner, so we'll probably see... Obviously not for Saiyan Day, because it'll be basically all Saiyan units again, but Slug could return fairly soon, so then it won't be too long before Buhan comes back again. But yeah, that's the thing, I think you really can't run, like, Cell and Buhan together super effectively, because they just change each other's orbs, like, too much. I mean, it's not like they then become bad, but they kind of are holding each other back a little bit from, like, their full potential by having them on the same rotation. But just with the team build that we have. I mean, I guess I could have put Int Buhan with Demon King Demigra instead of Tech Buhan, I suppose. But it probably would have worked better that way for the orbs. But it is what it is. Yeah, see, we might not kill this turn. And it's potentially because Tech Cell doesn't get that guaranteed extra super. He then didn't get the hidden potential. Like, guaranteed additional super, like I said, it's so beneficial for 2 reasons. Because it's not just that you're getting the extra super. It's that you're then also guaranteed you're getting the extra chance to proc the hidden potential. Which, of course, on this turn, Buhan didn't do either, so... But Rainbow Friend Glorio probably... If he gets crits, I guess, probably clutches it up here. Because, yeah, you can see him getting crits. It just depends how many supers he gets. Yeah, him getting a bunch of additional normals is not what we want, that's for sure. 22.6. Of course he doesn't crit, yeah. Alright, well... Of all the units in the game, of all the units on the team, we're going to finish him off with Demon King Demigra. Let's go. And he's going to pull out all the stops to try and survive here. There's the slot 1 super again. 40k, so obviously Demigra has a little bit of extra damage reduction before he attacks. And then there's the 24 mil with a crit. Taken out by Demon King Demigra. So, I mean, there you go. Is this the hardest fight in the game? Probably not. Blue Goku just became another Glorio victim. You love to see it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of Glorio and his team. Also, like I say, we talked about it a little bit throughout, but your guys' thoughts on Tech Cell versus Int Buhan. Who do you think is better and why? They're both super good, and like I said in my tier list yesterday, their design and their passives and everything, they're just so similar. I don't think you could put like a gap between them. I have Buhan at 1 and Cell at 2 when it comes to like the easy ATURs. So I guess it is what it is. You can say against super class bosses, Cell could be better because of the defensive capability, but Buhan does way more damage. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below. But yeah, I think I could probably safely say that, in my opinion, this fight is definitely not the hardest fight in the game. But let me know your thoughts down below. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ninja. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.